talking about the return of Nemesis, Planet X, Nibiru, this new dawn, something happening. And so, what's your prediction? Donc Dave, la dernière fois, quand on s'est rencontrés il y a à peu près 2 mois, et à ce moment-là, tu m'as parlé de ta nouvelle vidéo, et tu as trouvé quelque chose d'incroyable. Alors, est-ce que tu peux nous donner tes prédictions, en tout cas, pour ce retour de la planète Nibiru, ou de la planète X, comme on l'appelle, Nemesis? Donc, quelle est ta prédiction pour...
I'll put this image up that came in on the 27th of September this year, 1 month after I took that video, which I took on the 28th of August.
Just 1 month after.
And it's exactly what I'm expecting to see.
This is weird, like weird. There's this thing over here, and here's the rainbow, and here's this thing, and here's this thing. I don't know what it is. Careful, it's a UFO, man. I don't know. It's weird though. Look at this.
It's the same image, it's only much bigger, which means it has to mean it's exactly what I'm predicting.
I just want to take you through some photos that I took on the 28th of August 2015, just gone. And you know, there were a lot of witnesses to these lights and these orbs and this other little planet in the sky on this at the time just before the sunset. But if these lights, all these series of lights, spheres, orbs, let's have a look at where the planets were on the 28th of August 2015 first. So let's get that. None of the planets that I can see there could be whatever this thing is right here. And as for these 2 spheres and the glow behind, there's no place for it to be up there or on the right of the image here, which is the northern hemisphere of our solar system. And for it to arrive on this side, it has passed through what you're looking at here, which is the ecliptic.
Through the ecliptic. When I say the ecliptic, I mean all the planets orbiting around the sun.
Okay.
It entered through the ecliptic. It's coming round the sun now in the northern hemisphere of our solar system, and it's going to come back through, I'm assuming, somewhere around about December, which means the last 3/4 of its journey through the northern hemisphere of our solar system is the period from about early November to December, and about the same amount of time as it goes back into the southern hemisphere and back down. And so this is the prediction period. This is the prediction point.
Okay.
Round about December.
Okay, this is the important date. Donc Dave nous dit que en fait la planète Nibiru qu'il a observée, elle est en train elle est au milieu de sa course en fait, entre l'hémisphère nord, elle entre dans l'hémisphère nord, c'est ça, et elle va arriver donc en décembre à peu près, elle devrait arriver à la moitié de sa course et en fait continuer son chemin à sortir de l'hémisphère nord, c'est ça?
The last quarter of his journey.
Ok, le dernier quart de son cercle.
Biggest changes. You know, we've got this massive thing, or something.
On a cet énorme astre ou quelque chose, une présence qui est là, ouais.
That is causing massive geological changes.
Qui crée des cataclysmes, des changements climatiques ou géologiques, d'accord, dans la Terre, sur la Terre.
Oui. We can suggest that maybe it's a black ops government operation.
Beaucoup disent que ça pourrait être un projet à la harpe ou un autre type de projet comme ça.
That a man dressed as a wizard,
Voilà, qu'il y a un magicien quelque part avec ses boutons, c'est ça, ouais.
is kind of sitting in some ivory tower.
Un magicien qui serait assis dans une tour d'ivoire, en fait,
With
contrôlerait
some buttons on some machine,
avec ses boutons sur des machines, pourrait contrôler le...
and he can just turn it really high,
Il pourrait monter la température ou la vibration, c'est ça?
press earthquake,
Appuyer sur le bouton tremblement de terre, appuyer sur
earthquake, volcano,
volcan,
tornado,
tornade.
sinkhole.
Ok. Sinkhole, allez, hop, tout ça. Ok, d'accord. Donc ça, des fois on nous prédit quelque chose, comme on nous dit qu'il y a quelque chose comme ça qui se passe, que quelqu'un nous change le climat, mais c'est vrai que le projet ARP fait peur, on n'a pas beaucoup d'informations, les gens, the people who try to see what's going on inside HARP, they were...
It's too big. This is godlike. This is
bigger, it's different, okay.
This
Different
is
scale, yeah, it's too many. But
there's something affecting the solar system massively right now that's bringing changes to every planet in our solar system. Massive changes to our sun. Our sun should be solar maximus, and it's in hibernation.
Ok, donc même le soleil, en fait, tu dis que même le soleil est en hibernation, il est affecté tellement par cette énorme masse qui est entrée.
Nemesis is a collapsed, it's a dwarf planet. It was once a sun, and it moved from hydrogen into helium,
It's a star, like
and it compressed. It's not a star, it really is a planet.
Oh, it's a planet.
It's
No, it's
forming
not.
into a planet because it's moving up the periodic table and it's becoming smaller and denser because of the fusion process that's occurred in its centre over a much longer period than our sun. So it's a very, very old sun, and that is our sun's binary sun, and it comes around every 3,600 years, and it's come many times.
Okay, so that police song, Invisible Sun, is actually Sting was right. It's there must be an invisible sun. Excellent, I love that song. I always knew it was true. So great. That's a great update from Dave. La chanson de police, donc ça s'appelle Soleil invisible, et donc vrai, puisqu'il doit exister donc selon toi un soleil invisible qui s'appelle donc Nemesis. Donc sur les anciens aussi, the ancients predicted this happening, so the return of Nemesis.
Yeah,
it's something that the Mayans were talking about.
Yeah, they were talking about it. Well, definitely the Hopi. The Mayans obviously had their prophecies about 2012. You know, it exists in the Sumerian texts, it exists in the ancient Chinese texts, it exists in the Sanskrit texts, it exists in obviously all the biblical texts, in the ancient Greek texts. You know, it is a global story that this thing comes around, and it's a regular occurrence. It's part of the cycle of our solar system. And it just so happens that all the evidence seems to be that this thing is getting bigger and bigger. It's in the northern hemisphere when it's only ever been seen in the southern hemisphere. And because of the size in that image that I saw compared to the size of the image I saw on the 28th of August, 1 month before, I can safely predict that, see that image there on the screen that I've got there?
Okay.
We saw images like that in May this year, June this year. And so we can start predicting images like that again coming up very, very soon. Because this thing's going to get bigger. But it's not this thing that's going to get unbelievably close to Earth.
Okay, so it's just returning from the cycle.
This is the sun. It's much closer to the sun than we are.
Okay.
But, and it's getting its tremendous acceleration as it races round the sun, round the northern hemisphere. So it's getting faster. And then it comes to this last quarter of this journey through the northern hemisphere and remember we're rolling backwards at sunset, and then the whole planet is rolling back around the sun, going down here, and Nemesis is coming down here, and so we're all going to come to a very close passing point.
Okay.
We're closer to the Nemesis is closer to the sun, but Nemesis has an orbiting planet. It has several orbiting planets. One very close, very big, and another very far away, the furthest, which is Nibiru. And that is called the planet of crossing, that often comes into an alignment with other planets that are close to its own orbit, such as Earth in this case. Earth comes almost to an identical point, to a crossing point, as I was shown in my vision. The crossing point of Nibiru and Earth will be closer than it's ever been, ever before. That's what's coming. That's the big scary thing. Plus the effect of Nemesis coming very close to the Earth, and the gravitational effects. At the moment, it's coming in through the northern hemisphere, the last quarter, and it will push Earth's axis away. And we're going to get a real cold spell, and then we don't know. We're coming into this last quarter phase now. We can make predictions. It's going to push the North Pole away, which is already in the winter side. So we're going to get an extreme winter.
Donc l'hiver va être assez extrême.
And then, quite what happens when it goes down? Will it?
On ne sait pas si ça va.
We are all in. We will write about those that get past this. Will write about how this affects Earth after, and tell the next people, the next age.
Ceux qui ont cette expérience pourront la transmettre. Enfin, seront ceux qui la transmettront aux prochaines générations. Parce que ça va revenir. C'est un cycle en fait. It's a cycle. It'll keep on happening.
And we'll pass on the message of exactly. We know what our ancients have told us, how this affects.
On nous a laissé un message.
But this thing's coming in. It's just without doubt.
Cette fois-ci, c'est pas 2012, c'était 2015, 2016. C'est le moment de grands changements dont on a entendu parler depuis assez longtemps. C'est maintenant. This is the time. 2015, 2016. This is the transition, new transition. So tell us about how should we be welcoming, or should we be welcoming this event, or how should we be receiving the coming of Nemesis and Nibiru near us, so close to us again? What is that going to bring to society, to the world, apart from the cataclysm and all this? What are the ways we should welcome? Should we travel to some place and find safety, or should we stay and keep on doing what we want to do? I don't know. What should we do then, Mr. Dave? Tell us.
Well, I said in my video, like, we should go to the Pyrenees and we should get communities together, seed banks,
yeah.
Loads of people that know all about foraging and
we're foraging for
to survive in nature. If things become a little bit restricted, we need. There could be a famine. This could be realistically.
We've been hearing of stories in wars, and if there's a problem in Europe, the people from the cities definitely are not prepared to survive more than a few days with food that's there. So for sure, people will come to the countryside, and we should welcome them and say, well, look, that's food, we've got enough, that's true, we've got to be prepared. Like, people who have access to water and food will be definitely sharing it with a lot of more people than normal, so I think here is one of the good places, yeah, definitely. Donc Dave nous disait que ce qu'on devrait faire pour se préparer, ben en fait il peut y avoir une grande famine avec cette arrivée de Nemesis et les changements climatiques ou des cataclysmes. Donc, comme on avait fait en 2012, je pense qu'il y a des gens qui ont réfléchi à ça, qui se sont préparés au cas où, on ne sait jamais. C'est vrai qu'on a beaucoup de témoignages, d'écrits qui nous disent d'être prêts. Donc déjà d'organiser des banques de graines, du partage des denrées alimentaires, de stocker quand même des denrées alimentaires et puis des vivres, parce qu'on peut être affecté par ce changement. How should we get ready, or should we welcome this event?
The crazy thing is I say we should come here and create communities and tell my friends and everyone, and nobody comes. I haven't had you know, I invite everyone out here for this big party. Everyone thinks I've completely lost the plot. I haven't had one person, you know, and there's like 1,500 people have seen the video.
Okay.
And yet I come out here and all I find is a massive seed bank, loads of communities, loads of people that have come out here and already set it up. And I'm realizing...
C'est déjà là. Everything is already there. So Dave, yeah, Dave said he's done, il a fait une vidéo. Alors tu disais que tu avais fait une vidéo et que la vidéo du 27, c'est celle-là. Et plein de gens, tu as eu 1500 vues sur cette vidéo. Alors tu as fait une fête organisée le 7 novembre, donc il va y avoir une fête. Et tu te demandes combien de personnes vont venir. Pour l'instant, tu sais pas du tout. Parmi ces 1500 personnes, quelqu'un va voir ton message et venir à cette date, parce que cette date elle est importante. On va préciser pourquoi, parce que c'est l'anniversaire de Dave. Et le 7 novembre, l'alignement sera parfait. C'est l'alignement de toutes les planètes. C'est quand même un superbe signe. Donc déjà, c'est une raison de faire la fête, de célébrer en fait.
Yeah, it's I mean, just I mean, I've been so shocked by what's going on here. I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know.
Ici, dans les Pyrénées,
I think all these people that came in 2012, and the media told us they all came to get on a spaceship. And I see the communities they've set up, and the sort of like, and all the work opportunities with all the workaways, and you go and work on the land, and you help out, and all the beautiful markets and the whole cottage industry. You know, we did a foraging workshop the other day, and we had a load of workaways who were in the area that came.
Okay.
People come up from all the little markets. The markets are just everything I could ever dream of. Artisan, just like, they remind me of a festival I used to go to called Saint-Chartier in the middle of France. And I mean, my French is terrible. I have been a few times, but it's a long weekend, and all I ever do is just dance all weekend.
I love Saint-Chartier.
And this area is just is an enchant. I just had no idea. I feel like I'm in Colombia or something when I'm up here. So it's kind of wild. Everyone making their money, doing their crazy little thing.
Yeah, it's like a Far West sometimes.
It's unbelievable. But that you know, no one's really come, and yet, you know, where am I? You know, I haven't got any money. I can't just go and get a piece of land to do a massive party. I can't even speak the native tongue.
Yeah.
All I can do is put the word out and make a crazy video.
You're an Englishman in the south of France.
I just make a crazy video, and I hope that everyone just looks at it and thinks he's utterly crazy. Right. Well, and then they do what they've got to do. When they start getting the real earth tremors and the shaking. You know, when after November, this thing, you're in the change point, the big, chunky. You've always known it's going to come, but you're in that time, and you'll know it then. And your beliefs might be going somewhere, but you'll be in it. So many people in the world are in it, and so many are just hiding in their little bubble, pretending they're not in it. And it hasn't really come to them yet, but it's just getting worse and worse and worse.
So it's meant to make us come together and as one and have relationships again, because with technology maybe, you know, we've been segregated from each other for a lot of reasons. The modern world has kept us away from each other, and this is like bringing us back together again.
It's coming back into a really big story that's happening in our solar system, a galactic story that we desperately do not want to see. This desperate thing that we want to escape. That is actually, it just comes round and around, and it requires only one thing. It requires that the vibration be high enough to be peaceful, and this is what this thing regulates. You know, and as I understand it, this thing will fly by and it won't hit, because actually Earth's vibration is high enough. It's a real time of celebration, believe it or not, even though the changes that are going to come are going to be drastic. If Earth can survive this as a cataclysm, what can exist in the future beyond this is fantastic. Okay. But there are massive changes that need to happen on this Earth, and no human being is coercing these changes. No human being. The only thing you can do is make these changes less abruptive. And believe it or not, that is what so many have done over the last thousands of years. Is, believe it or not, raise the vibration of Earth, so it can sustain. So it can
this is what
get
sacred
past
sites like Glastonbury, Stonehenge, all these places are meant to be alimented by the humans and dance and music and chants and upon the land to rejoice the planet, and it's always been about that. I think the sacred site, there's been lots of things about them, but what's one sure thing about them is definitely linked with nourishing the earth with our joy and our art, I think, definitely.
It's, we've had a beautiful plight of it on this planet, and we now enter a new age. We literally, see the real dividing wall between two ages. One ends when this thing flies by, and the only thing that's left standing is the only thing this thing deems acceptable.
So one of the
we have no power over it.
So you mean war is like, for example, you talked about peace and war, and
it's
kind of something that's going to change our perception of war and maybe make a lot of people realize that's definitely not an option anymore. It could be an amazing time to be alive, so I hope to witness that change.
I see it from that perspective, because that was how it was initially introduced to me. That we approach a wall, and that nothing will get past that wall that is not of peace, and that I didn't even believe. When I heard people talking about Nibiru, I thought, you nut jobs.
Yeah, at the beginning the same thing, but I mean the more it goes...
But then the earthquakes start, and the volcanoes start, and the sea temperature starts rising, and I'm just thinking climate change. Just one of these volcanoes spills out more, carbon dioxide than all of GM put together in 1 year, and these things are going off left, right and centre. The sea is becoming super acid. All this carbon dioxide goes into the sea, it's absorbed massively, and it produces this immense amount of carbonated water or carbonic acid, and it's very acidic, and it has massive effect on the crust of the earth, along with all these earthquakes simultaneously occurring, releasing yet more carbon dioxide. It's, the volcanoes, the sinkholes, everything. It's just like,
so many things going on at the same time.
It's just like, and when you suddenly come and see the two spheres in the sky, you sort of like, you put the things together. It's just like, it's
beyond our comprehension.
Get ready.
Let's get ready, man. You're saying let's get ready for this.
Man. I'm saying, what can you do?
Till December, it's going to get really rough.
You can stockpile everything you like, and that's good. But what about just getting involved in crazy communities? Yeah. See it as a massive holiday. A massive holiday. Bring all your finest stuff, everything you've got, flashy, money. Bring loads of money. Come to the Pyrenees.
Cool. Well, all come
and go to somewhere to hide, but
somewhere safe.
Think somewhere safe. I might be crazy, but I tell you what, I'd love if I could ask one thing after this message more than anything else, is that anyone who gets this message, just to give me a little bit, the thing I want back from this, I guess, from anyone, if you've got my message, is, Dave, I hear you. I hear you. If I'm going to stay in Blighty and take my chances, maybe get a load of tin cans and some waders, get as high as you can, take the necessary precautions and...
Ok, donc Dave, il vous conseille en tout cas de venir vous réfugier ici, ou alors trouver un endroit où vous serez bien et faire des choses en communauté, c'est ça, d'être avec d'autres personnes, de partager son argent, la nourriture, des moments, de vivre en fait, de célébrer la vie, que ce soit...
Yeah, I just want to know if they hear me.
Voilà, et puis il y a des gens, si vous pouvez lui envoyer des messages de soutien ou alors des questions aussi, si vous avez des questions sur ce qu'il a vu, ce qu'il a ressenti. Et voilà, en tout cas, il vous envoie beaucoup d'amour, c'est ça. Le message, c'est l'amour.
Yeah, that's it.
That was the answer.
Do your research, do your own research, just they're taking a lot of videos down that are going up, and we have to, we just got to keep, loads and loads of stuff is coming in all the time on this. It's massive, and we come into the last quarter of this journey now, and like I say, we have got plans on the 7th of November, as you well know, and there are things coming together. And I'm not going to do a face. I might send this out to Facebook, my friends, just to say come out, my local friends. But I do this. I work with a bunch of people, and I do this thing called the Gorilla Bar in Glastonbury, and you know, anyone can get into the Gorilla Bar. It's not a backstage bar. It's in a little area called Shangri-La. Anyone can get in there. You know, I've got to be honest. Debs Armstrong and our partner Phil, they kind of, to be honest, they give away nearly all the bloody drinks because it's all just site crew. It's the crew, and it's all the mates of the crew and that sort of stuff, and so it's their little sort of like a rider, but to everyone. But it's a members only, and to get in there you've got to have a card or be with someone who has a card. You can't just waltz in there. You've got to be connected in some way. You have to make the effort. You can't just be another one just wandering along. And so I can't put locations or anything like that of what I'm doing here, you know, because it's a very, very small thing that's happening. It's just for friends, and most of it, you know, I've had no one who's got in contact with me from England.
Not yet.
And many of them are thinking that maybe I could come out.
Well, please do. I mean, if you...
No, hang on a minute. They're thinking to come out, and I can put them up and find them places. Man, if they come out here...
No, we've got to be self-reliant, you mean?
You got to bring your caravans, your trailers, your trucks, your tents, your sort of like...
Bring your teepees.
You know what I mean? I've got a few friends, I can't blow... I'm on a bit of land, there's loads of projects going along, there's a few people saying, yeah, we can put you up here and there, we got I don't want to say what we've got going specifically, because I don't know if they want that, that's going out, it's a members only thing, so I'm not going to mention any names of what we're doing up here, but I can say that if you're up here, and you want to start getting people and connecting with people that might want to come up here already, you know, open up your own networks via your own friendship, and do that, and let people who come up here, find your way, do what you do. If you haven't met anyone, then you just, I'm not organised. This cannot be one big party. It cannot be, because there's no place to have such a thing. But and there's just short notice. But it is that time when we have to start thinking about a very, very safe place to go. And the 7th of November. I'm the leader of the birthday party in England, my political party.
It's a birthday party.
It's my birthday on the 7th of November when this massive alignment occurs. And the irony is your birthday that this image appears. I mean, that is, do you know what I mean? That to me
my
just...
present. And somebody said on my birthday, it's a very special day, and I didn't really understand why, but there's some connection with mysticism or something.
And it's the birthday party. You know, my political party is the birthday party. It has no policies.
No political parties.
No policies, you know. It's just it
sounds like my party. People who remember me in England, in Manchester, the birthday parties are legendary. So it's birthday party.
Well, a political party. If you have a political party and you take away the policies, i.e., a political party with no policies, all you're left with. A party. You know, the conclusion to all this for me is where the people actually listen and come in.
Yeah, we're going to come together. We're all going to come together.
And coming together, people coming together, to me, that is democracy.
That is the real meaning of democracy.
That's all it is. You can put anything onto it. All the spin, we're going to install it for you. That's not democracy. That's not the people coming together. It's complete opposite. Yeah. We're going to bring you all together for you.
Yeah, but that's not.
You won't really be there.
You can't force democracy upon the people. It's a concept that they have to understand, and then
they come together. If they come together over something,
that's real democracy.
That's real democracy. Anything else, spin and bullshit.
And let's democracy. Let's argue, man, isn't it?
Democracy. You know, our hero Simon de Montfort.
Ah oui, on va parler de Simon de Montfort. Alors, en français, je vais expliquer un peu. Dave nous parlait de Simon de Montfort parce qu'en Angleterre, c'est un héros, donc Simon de Montfort, et en France, on le voit, tu nous disais, comme un meurtrier, un serial killer ou quelqu'un de comme ça. Donc, alors, dis-nous en anglais, je vais essayer de traduire. In England, you see him as a hero, and in France, you see him as a mass murderer. We see him as a mass murderer. So tell us about why this story is so different on both sides of the channel.
You know, here we are in Cathar country.
Cathar country, yeah. Arthur Inland too, because Glastonbury and this place are really linked. I'm reading a book about this at the moment, but apparently there's similar stories linking Arthur to these places. Yeah, so.
Well, you know, here you have Simon de Montfort the elder, with his son Simon de Montfort, who, under the instruction of the Pope, came and slaughtered the Cathars that had decided to break away from the Catholic doctrine of Christianity.
Yeah, it's like a crusade within the walls of Europe, within the boundaries of Europe. The only crusade that actually was against Europeans and not Arabs or other people. They were just within France. You know?
He does this to get his title. You know, for him to get his titles in France and England, he has to get the blessing of the Catholic Church, because they can't give the titles out, because the real sovereignty is held by the Church over the country of who can have those titles and who can't. So he has to do this for the Pope.
D'accord. Donc il obéissait au pape.
If he wants his titles, or you know, so he's in a bit of a difficult situation.
D'accord. Donc il hésitait entre ses titres. Pour garder ses titres, en fait, il a dû agir de cette façon.
But that's not an excuse.
Non, c'était pas une excuse pour aller massacrer tous les Cathares ici. C'est sûr.
A murdering warlord.
Voilà. Donc Simon de Montfort, c'est quand même un meurtrier. On est d'accord.
Utterly.
Mais pourquoi un héros en Angleterre alors?
In Angleterre, it's different in that we are given this story.
C'était son message.
He was the birth of democracy in the British Isles.
Efficace.
This is our hero, okay?
Donc pour
The hero
c'est
of
celui qui a
democracy.
amené la démocratie en Angleterre, d'accord. Donc il est vu comme un grand héros.
Simon de Montfort comes down
Simon de Montfort donc, est venu
with the London peasants
avec tous les paysans londoniens sous le bras, sous le coude.
and defeats. Okay,
D'accord.
I'm going to give you a list.
D'accord. Who did he defeat? Il m'a donné une liste.
In the castle,
Au château,
there was
il y avait qui?
Henry III
Henri III déjà, d'accord.
and his armies.
Et ses armées. Henri III et ses armées, ok.
Okay. There was Henry III's
Oui,
brother,
d'accord, le frère d'Henri IIIe, Henri III.
King of Germany,
Donc, ah oui, d'accord,
Henry
le
III's
roi
brother
d'Allemagne, le roi d'Allemagne. En
was
plus, ah oui,
King of
ouais,
Germany,
ouais, ok.
and his armies.
Et ses armées aussi. Ils étaient tous là, d'accord. Ouais.
Yep. Plus Henry III's son,
Le fils d'Henri aussi, je crois, Henri III, ok.
who would become Edward I, Longshanks,
Édouard
Longshanks.
Ier, ok.
Longshanks.
Longshanks, ok.
Plus Robert the Bruce of Scotland,
Robert de Bruce, ok. En Écosse.
who would become King of Scotland,
Il deviendrait en Écosse plus tard, ok.
and his armies.
Et ses armées aussi. Ils ont réussi à battre tous ces gens-là, sinon, enfin. Wow.
In the most well defended, the most advanced
Plus,
armory
le plus équipé
in the British Isles.
plus d'armes de toute l'Angleterre.
Simon de Montfort, with the London peasants, comes
C'est là.
ah, ba-bam, 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 ba-bam,
Victor
and destroys them all.
Great.
Superman.
So that's why he's seen as a hero in England.
You think democracy? We're told that Simon de Montfort, I think he was brother to basically Henry III's wife, the Queen of
Oui, c'est ça,
England.
il y a des liens très proches entre la
Simon
famille
de Montfort was brother.
et française, donc c'était le frère de...
He was royalty.
Donc voilà, il était vraiment en famille avec...
Royalty delivers democracy to the people by taking it from royalty.
Ah, c'est fort, il était quand même celui qui a apporté la démocratie en Angleterre et a délogé la royauté, malgré qu'il fasse partie de la royauté.
To deliver democracy.
Pour amener la démocratie.
But what is
Oui,
democracy?
c'est un peu ce que les Américains. What is democracy? Because the Americans or some people always tell us we're bringing democracy, and then what are they really doing?
But what is democracy?
C'est quoi la démocratie donc?
Demo. You can have loads of figures on a piece of paper, but if those figures aren't about people, it will never be a demograph. So demi,
C'est sur le propos du peuple, c'est ça. Le peuple.
people, crassy, combining form,
Coming together.
coming together. So what really happened? If 1264 was the birth of democracy, and we see all these one king and 3 kings to be, and all their armies are not enough against democracy, then what happened in 1264? The people came together. It was a revolution. It was a revolution, and they just tried to put their little puppet on the top of it.
Okay, that's what really happened. In France we had a revolution as well, and people say it's a bourgeois revolution now. It's a Masonic revolution.
And they try and sweep it under the carpet, renaming
it always gets taken.
A new little superhero and.
In France, we have a commune. La commune était plus proche d'une révolution certaine.
And so, will people come up here? You know, most people, like I say, think I'm a total idiot. I feel like I feel very. You know, most of my mates think I've lost the plot.
I think you've lost the plot.
And and I've been busy up here, as you well know. I've been busy up here, and you know, I don't know. I mean, I see all the crazy parties going and all the stuff that's going. And you know, the irony of seeing you on stage.
We met in the Festizone Festival.
Festizone in
Guzay Neige, on top of the mountains at 200 meters. Up in the sky.
And you were up on stage with the Mad Professor.
Yeah, I got invited.
Singing. Yeah. What was that? Because what you sang on that stage made me feel like exactly what I feel like in front of most of my mates at the moment. I know it's a lot to ask, but you see, the way I see it is no one's going to believe the story. They're going to think.
They're not going to believe that, I've sang with Mad Professor, and they're not going to believe about your Nibiru bullshit either. I mean,
you know, that picture is photoshopped. And that picture,
you just
can I ask you if it's possible, because I don't know if the people are going to come together, but I know the people have already come together. I mean, I'm in the Pyrenees, and all I'm seeing is lots of shit going on, and I'm really liking it. All the stuff that I thought I should come and do here, I find going on, and so. But what was that song that you sang? It was.
It's from a lady I love, and I've seen her perform live in Manchester once in front of like 50 people, not even. And she came and sang to a backing track, which I thought was, where's the band? You know, she's a lady, she should have a whole band. She just tried with her backing tape, and she just came really humbly, playing in the Zion Centre in Manchester. And she's called Dawn Penn, and she sings this famous hit. It's No, 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 you don't love me
anymore.
And I know now.
And I know now.
Yeah, so I sang this. My professor put that rhythm, and he was like with his MC, hitting up the crowd. It was still the beginning of the gig, and got some girls singing on stage, and he started the rhythm, and they started to sing, and he was like, "Good, but bring on another one, bring on another one." And then
I came in, and I saw you,
and I just
on stage.
But it was
singing
amazing. It was like a dream.
Professor.
It was like a dream.
I tell you what, it was the exact feeling that I had. Because I just thought, what the fuck? You know, I've put this message out. I've put this message out, and everyone thinks I've completely lost it.
It was an amazing moment. But for those who don't believe him, and for those who don't believe us, we're into love. So we're gonna sing this song. It goes, no, 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 you don't love me. Yes, I know now. Come on. No, 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 wrap it up. You don't love me, yes, I know now. As if you left me, baby, I'll go on my knees for you, girl. Come on and bring that. No, and after he said to me, the professor was there, he said, boy, you sing that song, but you do what you want. Be free, man. Sing your version. And then I was like, okay, bring it rock. I was like, no, no, bring it up. It was fucking amazing.
It was a pleasure. You know, I'm up in the Pyrenees, man. It's going off. Hopefully.
You gave me this as a present. Thank you, my professor. I left the stage with this, and everybody's like, where's your record? Did you get this record? I'm like, thank you, my professor. He gave me his latest release. So let's make a little ad for him. Ariwa Records, Cedric Congo, dub release. Yes, thank you, man.
Anyway,
Okay.
what more can be said? Whether people turn up, whether people come together.
Well, hopefully they will, because they got our message of love coming from the mountains, saying, you know, whatever's coming, don't fear it, embrace it, and be together as human beings. Be with your loved ones. Be in the place you want to be in your heart. Be in the place where you want to be, geographically, physically, mentally, spiritually, etc. Right? That's one, brother. Thank you for talking to us, Mr. Dave Dance. Merci à toi, Dave, d'être venu nous parler ici dans le petit studio.
I always go into crap Spanish. It's just
That's cool. Don't worry about your French. My Spanish. It's a new planet to say, coming our way, a new paradise.